Saving America one entrepreneur at a time, it's the Biz Rap Podcast with your host, Michael Manahan. The show that celebrates small business and entrepreneurs, it's Biz Rap Radio with your host, small businessman, educator, and author, Michael Manahan. And welcome to another edition of Biz Rap Radio. It's your host, Michael Manahan. Thank you so much for joining me today. Biz Rap Radio, of course, we are the show all about small business and entrepreneurs. We're here fighting for you, the small business people, the business people who are driving America. Yes, that's right. It's not the big corporations. It's not Microsoft and General Motors. It's the small business people that really drive the economy of the United States. Did you know most people work for small businesses? Did you know as we come out of the recession, most new jobs are created by small businesses? So we need entrepreneurs. We need small business people. They are the lifeblood of the American economy. And this show is all about you, small businesses and entrepreneurs. We're here to help you make more money. That's the goal of the game. You got to make money in this world. Hey, it's not a bad thing. I know some people talk about those nasty corporations, but the fact is most corporations are nothing more than just a group of people. Some of them are big corporations, but most of them here in the United States are really small corporations. They're your local grocery store, your local dry cleaner, laundromat, the local lawnmower repair shop, the consultants, the advisors. There's just so many small businesses that make the United States happen, and it's increasing, by the way, because a lot of people who used to work for a company, one company in some particular field, maybe it's something like computer graphics. Well, now what those people are doing is starting their own little independent company. I know the government hates that because they hate independent contractors because it's much tougher for the government to extract all those payroll taxes and everything else out of independent contractors. Because a lot of independent contractors out there, a small person who's working in something like computer graphics, and he's got 3 or 4 clients. He helps 3 or 4 different companies. That is the coming model. So, but now we need to get busy. We have somebody on the line with us who is a very interesting person. Her name is Monika Wiela. She is the founder of a company called Give Back Box, and she's got quite a story because Monika was born and raised in Sieradz, Poland, and she emigrated here to the United States. And Monika, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Not a problem. Happy to do so. Now, I really, I'm intrigued. You were born and raised in Poland. When did you come to the United States?
8 years ago. I'm here 8 years.
What prompted you to come to the United States?
I actually come here first without a purpose to stay. I come just to visit the United States and kind of vacation, see what the noise about America really is. And I just love it since day one, and I decided to stay. And right away, opportunities was open for me, so that's how it happened.
So it just happenstance. You came here for vacation and never went back.
Yes, I went back to, organize my stuff in Poland, and I know it, after the first week, I know it, I want to live here. So that was actually a simple decision for me.
I see. And once you moved here, did you immediately get into running your own business, or what did you do when you moved to the United States?
Actually, first thing that I did when I come, I go shopping like everyone will do. And because I love shoes so much, I go shoe shopping. And then I bought a couple pairs of shoes, and I was so amazed. I said, "Wow, these shoes are so cheap here. It's like for $20, I can have a pair of shoes." It was just amazing. So I bought 5 pairs of shoes the first day for my girlfriend. I decided, when I come back from America, I will have a gift for them. So I go to a hotel and I saw these shoes, and I said, "You know what? I'm staying here for another month, so I maybe put these shoes on eBay in Poland, and maybe somebody want to buy it." So first night I wake up next day and all 5 pairs was gone. So I know it, I'm into some kind of business opportunity. So that's how I start my shoe business.
Oh my gosh.
So that was a very fast decision, and I knew exactly what I'm going to do.
So you actually run have your own shoe company then?
Yes, I have my shoe company back in Poland and also in the United States. That's my main business when I moved here. Give Back Box come across about 3 years ago when I was looking for something that I can do better in my shoe business, for a way how I can not only sell shoes but also help the customers, help the planet, just help people. I just was looking for something that I can implement in my shoe business to just be a better company. So that's how Give Back Box was born.
I see. Now what is the name of your shoe company?
It's called StyleUpGirl.com.
Okay, so styleupgirl.com, and you can, if you're listening and you're interested in buying some shoes, go check out Monika's website. And what kind of shoes? What kind of shoes do you feature on your website?
It's woman fashion, very high fashion, and very affordable prices. So you can buy a pair of shoes in the price of a drink almost.
Wow, that's great stuff. Now, it seems to I'm just thinking, I'm stuttering here a little bit because, I'm thinking there's these all of these well-established companies that sell shoes online. Do you think are you able to compete with those big companies that have these huge websites that do hundreds of millions of dollars in sales?
Yes, it's very actually easy to compete with them, because when you think about very big shoe companies, they offer all kind of shoes and all kind of lines and all kind of brands, which is very, very nice. But when you really look for something specific, you don't want to spend hours of browsing the pages to find the perfect shoe. What I focus on very narrow selection. This is a very high fashion shoe for very fashionable and sophisticated young women. And this women know they come to my website and they finish shopping in exactly 5 minutes, and they find exactly the right color and exactly the right style without going through snowboard shoes or running shoes or any other kind of shoes that they're not interested in. So it's actually, when you narrow your selection to very specific clients, it's easy to compete that way.
Right. And that's actually a good strategy for people listening to us who might be thinking, hey, it's too late to get in on the the internet marketing, because let's face it, whatever category of product you think about, if you go to the website, there's some huge company selling all of that stuff. But there is opportunity for somebody who has a small niche, if you will, and focuses on a limited number of products. Because you're right, I've done that. I've gone to Amazon.com and tried to find a product, and I'm like spending hours looking through all of these different alternatives, and it's like, look, I know what I want. Why can't I just bring up that one thing that I'm looking for? It becomes very challenging and difficult. So that's good for you. So it's styleupgirl.com, styleupgirl.com. Check it out. Hey, if you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking about first of all, if you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking about doing something on the internet, if you don't have a presence there yet, check out styleupgirl.com. You might get some ideas. And, of course, if you are looking to buy some shoes, go to styleup.com, styleupgirl.com, and check out Monika's shoes. And definitely, if you can, buy a pair of shoes from her. Monika, now, in addition to your website for selling shoes, you also have gotten involved in something called Give Back Box. What exactly is that?
So 3 years ago, when I was looking for this good side of my shoe business, I had like a personal experience in Chicago. I walk through Michigan Avenue, which is like main street in Chicago, and there is a lot of homeless people sitting there asking for money, food, whatever they need. And because I used to live very close by, I knew all the faces and all these people sitting there every day. And one day I walked there and I saw a homeless guy, which I never saw him before. And all what he held in his hands was a sign, I need shoes. So because I own a shoe store, I have 1,000 pairs of shoes. I could help this gentleman. But I am selling only women's shoes. But this incident was like opened my eyes, and I just had this feeling like someone hit me in my head. And I go home and I just had this feeling like this was a message for me, and I have to do something about it.
Okay,
So
Monika, let me interrupt you right there. I got to go to commercial break. This is so interesting. We're going to be back with the rest of her story. It's Monika Wiela. Her website is styleupgirl.com, and we'll be back with her story about Give Back Box right after these messages. And welcome back to Biz Rap Radio. It's your host, Michael Manahan. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you were listening to the last segment, we've been talking to Monika Wiela. Monika owns a company called StyleUpGirl.com, where she sells high fashion shoes. And she's originally from Poland. She was raised in Sieradz, Poland. She moved here about 8 years ago. But in addition to her shoe business, Monika is also involved in something called GiveBackBox.com. And Monika was just telling the story about she lives in Chicago, and there's a lot of homeless people, and she came across a homeless person looking for a pair of shoes. And so, Monika, take it away. What happened after you discovered this homeless person who was looking for a pair of shoes?
So I knew that was a message for me. I need to do something about it. So next morning I get up and I have all the plans together. I thought, this is what I'm going to do. Every time when I ship shoes to my customers, I put in a shoe box in the shipping box. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to attach a little message to my customers and ask them, hey, thank you so much for buying a pair of new shoes. Please do not trash away this shipping box. Please put inside this shipping box your old shoes, old clothes, whatever you don't need anymore. And I will give my customers prepaid shipping label to charity so they can simply use the shipping box just received from my store, stuff the box with stuff they not longer needed, and ship this back for free to a charity.
Wow.
So
That's what an absolutely brilliant idea. Now, is there any particular charity that you ship these shoes and clothing and other accessories to?
Yes, I choose Goodwill because it's the biggest, and I really love the mission about training people and put people back to work. I think it's very important for our economy and for really help people to give them opportunity to find a job. So I work into the Goodwill, which I'm very, very happy. And so that was the beginning. And since I started to do this with my own shoe business, and I saw how much people start sending back, I get, immediately thought, hey, wait a minute, if I can do it with my shoe business, why about every online store will do the same? And that was about 2 years ago when Give Back Box as a company was born, and when I started my journey to visit all these big corporations, as you speak on the beginning, and big online retailers, and ask them to help me to change how people shop online and how people donate.
That is really interesting. So have you gotten any other online retailers to adopt your program? Are there other companies that are now doing this?
Yes. Then right now we're working with Newegg.com. It's a big online store selling electronics and computers. So they're working with us, and every box going out from Newegg.com have our labels, able people to donate. We're working with Overstock.com, Overstock as well. We just launched in December Loft.com. It's a woman fashion store. And we have a lot of other stores waiting in the line to launch with us. So the program has been very, very successful, and we're growing and we're helping millions of people.
That's an amazing story. And what I like about it is I like the fact that there's this giving back, that as a business, you're not just out there making money, but you're actually giving back and helping people. And I don't know what it is. We have in America, I don't know what it's like in Europe, but we have in America, sponsored and promoted by the media, this idea that businesses are nothing more than greedy Scrooges and Grinches who are out to screw everybody and to take everybody's money. And the fact is that businesses in the United States, large and small, give billions. I'm not talking millions. I'm talking billions of dollars every year for charitable causes. Businesses sponsor everything from local kids' sports teams. They sponsor charities. They sponsor social events. I mean, everybody I know, I shouldn't say maybe everybody, but many of the people I know as a businessman here in Southern California are involved in their community. They're involved in helping people out, whether it's a friend of mine who does tax returns for people who are down and out. He does the tax returns for free. I've got another friend of mine who owns an insurance company, and he sponsors the local Little League team. I mean, there's just so much that business is doing, and you don't have to be a huge corporation. We got obviously McDonald's has things like Ronald McDonald House, but you don't have to be a huge corporation. A little small company, a company like Monika's here, StyleUpGirl.com, where you can buy your high fashion shoes. You also can participate in being a good what I would call a good citizen. You can give back to society. So what I'd encourage you, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a small business person, look at your own business and how are you giving back to the community that you're serving? Are you giving back locally? Are you giving back regionally? Are you giving back nationally? Now, Monika, if somebody is running an online retailer and shipping things to customers, do they need to partner with you to be a part of this givebackbox.com, or is it something they could do by themselves?
Yes, they can email me. Email is simple. It's Monika at givebackbox.com, or just contact us through the website, givebackbox.com, and we will help them and set them up, and they can help others as well.
Okay, so this is real easy. You don't even have to worry about finding the charities and understanding how all of this works. If you just go to givebackbox.com, send Monika an email, she will help you set it all up so that you are able, as an online retailer, to actually participate in this program where you send something out to a customer. The customer sends back used clothing, used shoes. And can they send anything else? What else could they send back?
Absolutely. Everything with Goodwill accepted donation, which is all household items, old cell phones, books, I don't know, whatever you have in your home and fit in the box, you can send it.
Well, that's such a great idea, and who doesn't have stuff they don't need around the house? I mean, I don't know. We're such a society of collectors over here. I mean, my house is full of absolute junk, and a lot of it I'll never use. But this is such a great idea. I really encourage you to check it out. Again, it is givebackbox.com. Go there. Check out, send an email to Monika, and she'll help you set this all up. So, Monika, you've got StyleUpGirl.com, you've got givebackbox.com. Excuse me, I'm stuttering this morning. And what's next? You're obviously an entrepreneur. You've got a lot of ideas. You're a young lady. What's next on the agenda?
So that's true. I have a lot of ideas, and every time when I come up with something, I usually share with my friends to let them go and do it. But since I started the Give Back Box, I'm just so passionate about health. I'm just like, this is just like my dream come true. I was never told before helping others, which feels so good and so amazing. And literally helping others keep me waking up early in the morning every day. So for sure, for the next couple of years, I will make sure Give Back Box is implemented all over the world, and it will be number one method of collecting donations in the future. So it might take me a couple of years, but I definitely want to stay in the field of helping others and in the field of how to make your business better for your customers, because I think that's the future. We not only want to sell and making money, we want to make a change, and we want to make life of our customers better. So I'm definitely staying in that field.
Well, that is wonderful, and I love to hear the passion that comes through. This is one of the things I talk about with people who are talking about getting into business. And I said, if you want to get into business and you want to be successful, do something that you're passionate about. If you can't put your passions into the business, yeah, you might be able to start a business and make money, but it's much better if you can be passionate about what you're doing. I can just hear the passion coming through when you're talking. You obviously are not only a very intelligent lady, but you're a very committed and caring person as well, and I really like that. We're coming to the end of our interview here, Monika. It's been so nice meeting you over the phone. Let me give your information again. StyleUpGirl.com, that's where you go for your high fashion shoes. GiveBackBox.com, that's where you go if you're an internet retailer and you want to also do like Monika, set up a program where when you ship things to customers, they can use that same box, package goodies in it, and send it to Goodwill for a great charitable cause. Monika, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Not a problem. It's Biz Rap Radio. I'm your host, Michael Manahan. We will be back right after these messages. And welcome back to Biz Rap Radio. It's your host, Michael Manahan, and thanks for joining us, or thanks for sticking with us if you've been listening to the show. That was Monika Wiela, CEO and founder of Give Back Box, and also her shoe retailer, which is Style Up Girl. Very interesting. Came here from Poland 8-9 years ago, decided to stay. Starts two businesses, one selling shoes and the other one that really is giving back to charity and to society. So exciting. And if you're interested in her Give Back Box program, definitely get a hold of her. Now, last week's show, I was out at the Entrepreneurial Institute Symposium at Cal State Dominguez Hills, and we had the whole show focused on interviews I did while I was there at the symposium. But I taped so many interviews at that event that I didn't get a chance to play them all on last week's show, and there was one that I really thought would resonate well with entrepreneurs, and that was an interview I did with a gentleman by the name of Chris Braun. Chris Braun is the CEO of Convade, and Convade is a specialty, I guess you'd call it wheelchair manufactures specialty wheelchairs for people who are disabled. Very interesting gentleman. Took over a business, quadrupled sales, or doubled sales, I think it was, in 4 years, and just the kind of guy that can give you some really great ideas and hints if you're a small business person or an entrepreneur. So here it is. Here is my interview with Chris Braun, Convade, at the Entrepreneurial Symposium at the University of California, Dominguez Hills, and this was taped a couple of months ago at this huge event they had on campus. Here it is, Chris Braun. And it's your host, Michael Manahan, Biz Rap Radio, still here on the campus, Cal State Dominguez Hills. We're here for the American Dream Starts Here Entrepreneurial Symposium. It's being put on by the College of Business Administration and Public Policy. We've got speakers lined up all morning long, and then in the afternoon, it's the Toro Tank, similar to Shark Tank, where entrepreneurial students will be pitching their ideas and their concepts to a panel of experienced business types, and the winner's going to walk away with $1,000 in cash and a whole bunch of other prizes. But I've been able to catch up to one of our panelists from this morning, Chris Braun. He's the president of Convade. He calls himself a professional CEO with over 20 years of experience in manufacturing and distribution. Chris, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. So, You seem to have a passion for helping people. I'm looking down here. You're involved in all sorts of boards. You're chairman of the South Bay Entrepreneurial Center. Where does that come from? What motivates you to want to not just be a money hungry businessman, but actually go out and try and help others?
I think it started with early in my career. I was surrounded with some great people that mentored me through many differences and difficulties in business, and I think they didn't charge me for any of that. They did it out of the goodness of their heart, and I was really fortunate to get that advice and coaching earlier. So I had this feeling and desire to want to give back when I could, and I think I'm finally at a spot in my career and working environment that I'm able to do a lot of that back to the community.
That's great, and I love it when people do that. I'm kind of doing that myself in a way. I had a successful career in finance and as a CFO and a money raiser and all those sorts of things, but started teaching back in 2009, and now I'm a full-time lecturer here at Cal State Dominguez Hills in the sunset of my career, I guess you could say, teaching finance and accounting. And I think a lot of it is kind of the same thing, giving back. It's helping people. As I like to think of it, I'm teaching the business leaders of tomorrow, the people at college right now. These are the people going to be running businesses, creating new businesses, and believe me, with the way the world is, they need all the help they can get.
I would 100% agree, and if we can help them avoid a couple of the mistakes that you and I made through the past, it might make it a lot easier for them to be successful.
Yeah, and I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, and a lot of them are very proud of their successes, but most of them have a failure or two in their back pocket. I know I certainly do.
You and me both.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and your company that you're working with right now.
Sure, we manufacture custom wheelchairs for kids, and specifically kids which are quite dependent on other help, meaning the caregiver, the parent, maybe a doctor, and these kids need special equipment that's built specifically for them. They might have spinal problems, they could have cerebral palsy or spina bifida, things like that, and so we build exactly for their measurements, exactly for their specific disability. And we really have a great team of people that works to do that and to design the product specifically for them.
Oh, that's great. Now how long has the company been around?
The company's been around since the early 70s,
okay,
and was founded by Mervyn Watkins, an ex-wheelchair manufacturer himself. And he and his wife came up with a concept of a pediatric-style stroller which served medical needs. And that was the basis for the invention of this product. And very much like other entrepreneurs, he started it out of his garage. So happy to say now we're up to 135 employees, doing business in about 26 countries, and took it right out of that garage into a bigger plant. So.
Well, that is such a success story, and so many businesses have, what I call the proverbial humble beginnings. They're just somebody who says, look, I see a need. I think I can help. I think I can do something. Start off in the garage or, a small office, and then a few years later, boom, 130 employees?
135 employees now.
Jeez.
And looking to hire more. So
that's amazing. And you're the CEO.
Yes.
And how long have you been involved with the company?
I started in 2008, so it's been now going on 6 years.
Okay.
And in that time, we've been able to basically take a company that was rather flat in terms of revenue, and we've doubled the business in the first 4 years. So it's been really a labor of love and getting the right people and doing things I think not only help the people we serve, but also the community and some other ingredients as well. So it's been
that sounds very general and what I would say to my students, a little vague. I mean, specifically, you took a company, you say it was flat. What would you say are the 2 or 3 things that you did as the new CEO into this company that allowed you to double sales?
Sure. I think it starts with having the vision of what the customer wants and really going back to the basics of making sure that what you're producing and what you're serving is actually what the customer is asking for. What's their problem? How are you going to solve it? Starting with that, and then adding the additional piece of getting the right people on the team to do that work. I said my job is to design myself out of a job, meaning that if I can train the people, if I can hire the right people, I will find myself out of a job one day, and that's my goal. It's kind of an interesting way to think about it, but that really would be the measurement of success for me was can the company go on without me?
Right. And I like that so much because one of the most effective people I know, a very good friend of mine, he was the CEO of a $1 billion company. He's not the brightest guy on the planet, but he knows how to execute through people. And if you can't bring on and build the team the organization falls apart. You've got the money, you've got the product, but you got to execute, and you can only execute through people unless you're a one-man business. But as soon as you get two people, there's somebody else involved in the mix. You've got an organization, and organizations are not just naturally smooth functioning things. People are dysfunctional. So to be able to manage that dysfunctionality in an effective manner, find the right people for the right positions is a tribute to what you have done. But I want to make one other comment, and that is you mentioned knowing what the customer wants. As a frustration and as a consultant to businesses over the years, I ask a client, well, what motivates your customers? And every client has an opinion of what motivates their customers, but 90% of them never actually asked the customer. So it's their opinion of what the customers want, not necessarily the customer's opinion.
You're absolutely right. I think that's how most people would approach it, and unfortunately, I think that's the wrong way to do it. You really need to go and work and spend a day in the life of the customer with them. In our case, we do a lot of work at different hospitals, different clinics, different facilities to really understand what the needs of the patients are, and ask their parents, ask their caregivers, what is it that you need in this product? What works, what doesn't work? Get real life experience with it. And to me, that's the essence of designing and continuing to reinvent your product and your company is through that process. The closer you stay to the customer, the closer the product is to the end goal, and the more successful you'll be.
Okay, so there we have two fabulous business tips for all of you entrepreneurs and small business people out there listening. Number one, you got to build the team. You got to put the right people on your ship and have them in the right positions. Number two, you got to know what your customers want, and you can't presume what your customers want. You got to get out there and be with the customers, as Chris says, spend a day in their shoes, understand what motivates them. If you do, you will do a better job of providing the product or the service those customers want. Chris, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been just wonderful speaking with you.
Thank you. Fantastic. Appreciate you having me today.
Not a problem. And it's Mike Manahan, Biz Rap Radio here on the campus, Cal State Dominguez Hills. And we will be back. And welcome back to Biz Rap Radio here for our final segment. Geez, it's been such an exciting show. We had Monika Wiela on at the top of the show. She, of course, is the lady with Give Back Box, a great idea how online retailers can help support charities. And then we had Chris Braun, the CEO of Convade, out there giving suggestions and ideas how entrepreneurs can better manage their businesses. And if you're just joining us, it's Biz Rap Radio. I'm your host, Michael Manahan. We are the show all about small business and entrepreneurs, and we're here to help you with ideas, suggestions, and thoughts. Hopefully things that can help you do a better job of running your business and making money. And I want to put an exclamation mark behind that, making money. That's what it's all about. But I'm very lucky to have to close out the show here, good friend of mine and a regular contributor to the show. It is David Fraser, the Market Monk. David, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Mike. How are you?
Good. Now, David, let me just set the stage here so people know a little bit about you. You call yourself the Market Monk, but really what you are is a financial analyst. You are an expert at what's happening in the markets, in the economy. You're tracking the things that most of us as business people are just really too busy to track on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis. So what can you tell us? What's happening in the economy right now that we should know about?
Well, the economy here in the United States is continuing to improve, and my guess is folks that are listening to your show is if they focus on what's happening in their business and the results of those what's going on, as opposed to what they hear in the financial media and might read in some useless financial publication, they probably recognize the improvements because their sales are probably increasing and they're probably doing better.
Well, that definitely is great news, and it certainly appears on the international stage the U.S. is doing well. I recently, just before Christmas, I took a trip up to Canada. I was amazed. At one point in time, the Canadian dollar was actually par with the U.S. dollar. It's now down to about 78 cents. I also recently traveled to Europe, and I can remember the times when the euro was worth $1.50. Now it's hovering maybe around $1.10, $1.12. In comparison, are we doing that much better in the U.S. than other places in the world?
Well, the simple answer is yes. The U.S. is doing much better than most other regions of the world right now.
And how is that? Because, gosh, you look at our dysfunctional government, you look at our bureaucratic overregulation of business, you look at, 80 million people or something? Is it 80 million people on food stamps? They tell us 1 in every 6 people is starving to death in this country. How is this even possible?
Well, I think, in my opinion, in my experienced opinion, it's possible for really one simple reason. It's the entrepreneurial type of motivation and work ethic of Americans. Americans in general. I'm talking about, really, I guess, now that I think about it, it's your audience. It's because of the people who are listening to this show. And I'm not blowing smoke at them or catering to them. That really is the answer. Meaning that small business people get out and work very, very hard. Most small businesses, or at least successful small businesses, manage their finances very well. They, instead of trying to impress their neighbors probably think they're poor. Why? Because they underspend, they save and invest intelligently. They come up with new ideas. They manage their workforce as well. And because of the way that successful small businesses operate in this country, at least, even during periods when we have the pitiful type of government actions that we've had for the past several years, they're still able to succeed, even in spite of ridiculous government regulations and over-involvement in their businesses. I don't want to go on too long here, but I think that's really what it comes down to. That's why.
Yeah, and I would certainly echo that sentiment. We are a nation of entrepreneurs, and not just the people who live here, but the people who come here. I'm amazed at when I go out into the entrepreneurial world and I see so many what I would call first-generation Americans. These are people who've come from all over the world, from China, from Mexico, from Europe. The lady I interviewed at the top of the hour, Monika Wiela, she came here 8 years ago from Poland, and she's now running 2 businesses. And I suspect that she would not be running those businesses if she was still back in Poland. We are a nation of entrepreneurs. We attract entrepreneurs to this country. People don't mind rolling up their sleeves and starting businesses and running businesses. And I think that is a big differentiator between us and many countries, in the world.
Yeah, I really, yes. And on a side note on that issue, I think it's really not directly related to this conversation, but we hear about these illegal immigrants. Well, first of all, there are people that invade the country. President Obama thinks he has the ability to let those people that invade the country that are here illegally stay here. Here's my response to that. That could be resolved in a snap just like that. Of course, it's never going to happen. That is this. I'd say open up the gates. Let everybody in that wants to come in. Anyone that wants to come in. Now, your audience are going, have you lost your mind? Ooh, there's one caveat here. None of those people will have access to any type of government handouts for a period of at least 10 years. And there is no minimum wage. Get rid of it. Get rid of the minimum wage, no government hands out, and then let anyone come that wants to come. And what are we going to have? We're going to have people that work hard, just like your listeners have done. Those are the ones that are going to succeed, and no one's going to have any problem with those people as long as we don't have any handouts. But that's not going to happen. Anyway, I think that's what it really comes down to. What else should we talk about? As I said, the economy is continuing to improve, and if you listen to the financial networks and read newspapers and magazines is a waste of time because supposedly economy slowed down in the last quarter. That's untrue. I could get into that if we have time, but actually it did continue to improve, and my research shows that it's going to continue to improve during the months ahead.
Well, it's been a slow grind to get us out of that recession that we had, and there's all sorts of reasons why maybe our recovery was slower than the past, but it certainly, by all accounts, it seems that we are back into recovery. Where is it going to go? I mean, how long is it going to last? And maybe just give me also one comment on the stock market. We have the stock market up at 18,000 now. It's I think hit. There was a couple of days where it had losses, but it seems to lose and then pick it right back up again. What's going to happen with the market, and where should people be looking for opportunity right now?
Just keep focusing on your businesses. Keep investing in your businesses. Manage your workforce well. The last time we talked a few months ago, I talked extensively about that. We're going to continue to see improvements in the overall economy. So just keep focusing on the revenue side of your equation with continuing to manage those costs. And as far as the stock market's concerned, the recent volatility, well, you get a lot of noise out here and a lot of misinformation, and people don't know what to do, and that's what causes that volatility. But as I said, my research shows that the employment situation is going to continue to improve. Americans' income is going to continue to go up, at a slow pace, but it has been rising. It's going to continue to rise. People are becoming more confident. They're going to spend more money, and therefore stock prices, no, we're going to continue to head higher within the next few weeks. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that households have paid down their debt substantially, and they're investing more wisely now instead of just making big foolish bets. So I see stock prices moving higher.
Okay, and we got to just maybe about 45 seconds left here. What about the real estate market? Are we going to continue to see some improvements in the real estate market?
Yes, slow, because people are not doing foolish things now. They're not paying ridiculous prices. They're being cautious. But yes, the research clearly indicates that we're going to see the housing market continue to improve and home prices continue to move higher, but not at a fast, ridiculous rate, at a modest, slow, steady rate.
Okay, that's it. We've got it from David Fraser, the Market Monk. David, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Fantastic, Mike. Talk to you soon.
Okay, you bet. It is Michael Manahan, your host, Biz Rap Radio. We are the show all about small businesses and entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we will be back next week with another edition of Biz Rap Radio.